Hello, crisis actors. It's Mary. Thank you for tuning in. As you know, Brett has now embarked on his honeymoon with Olivia. So for the week, we are joined by my interim guest co-host. Say hi to everyone, Tate.
Hello, everybody. What is up, crisis actors? I am Timu Brett. I'm here holding it down. We're here. We're having a good time.
Barely in the camera frame.
Barely. Let me slouch a little. You know, people get on.
You weren't able to lower your chair anymore.
Yeah, this is maximum low or minimum
right.
low.
Maximum low.
The world just isn't built for people like you.
Yeah, all our height cells. Yeah, it's a cold world out here. We're holding it down. You know, people get on to me about the slouching like all the time.
That shot.
People get on.
It's literally like Elf when he gets in the shower, in the elf shower.
We also have Phil the Thrill here.
Hello, everybody. My name is Phil Labonte. I'm the lead singer of the heavy metal band All That Remains. I'm an anti-communist and a counter-revolutionary, and I'm here to make jokes about Tate. Oh, and apparently I'm a dark man.
Also, yeah, I'm confused because
Phil's
Phil
race swapped?
looks like we race swapped Phil.
Is it that light?
The light is definitely
it's gotta be the camera,
all of the
isn't
lights are on, so I think it's a camera issue.
It's a Tate issue.
Gosh.
Okay, I don't know if there's
I'm
any
enjoying
way.
this thoroughly.
Is there any way to fix that, or is
Let me
this just?
see.
Are we just stuck
You
here?
hold it down for now.
I'm holding it down. That's okay. Well, anyway, I'll just move on like I was going to. Yesterday, we were yapping a lot. I was doing most of the yapping, so we actually ended up not having a whole bunch of time to cover everything we were planning to. But that means we have a lot to cover today. We're going to talk about the impending possible collapse of the internet as we know it. People are calling it Y2K 2.0. Basically, the theory goes that everything that we use today for banking, social media, pacemakers even, is going to shut down on January 19th, 2038. That is included in all of these systems. And I don't have enough technical knowledge to explain how, but we're going to have an influencer explain it for us. We're also going to discuss a new movie starring Sydney Sweeney playing... she's in this biopic starring as Christy, this famous boxer who I've never heard of. But she's
and she really she put on some weight. And
she did. She went under this whole transformation.
Yeah.
How does Phil look? Is everything okay?
I think I made it worse.
Oh no.
I look like
is
the Dark
Phil
Lord.
just gonna look
is
like
what
this
I
for
look
the
like.
rest of the episode? Because
I
mean,
got really tan. Let me see. Let me try.
I don't
more
think I
adjustment.
turned on the camera, but I swear I didn't touch any other buttons on the camera that did this.
You're all just broken.
Maybe. And you know, we had Brandon on yesterday, and he looked normal. So maybe it's a you problem, Phil.
Well, it's hilarious. Like I'm off center in the picture and everything. It's great.
So anyway,
like
this biopic that she's starring in is getting rave reviews from critics. But Sydney Sweeney seems frustrated that the media is so focused on her commercials and her controversies instead of asking her about her very serious art. How does it look? What do we got? That's not what happened.
I thought maybe it wasn't.
Okay. Okay, while Tate's working on that, we're also going to discuss a new show that is premiering on Apple TV Plus called The Savant, which I learned is actually based on...
I just saw the shot, the way the shot is now.
Yeah, it's bad.
It continues to get worse and degrade.
It's actually based on a true story about a woman who works with the SPLC, the ADL, and three-letter agencies to track down hyper online right-wing extremists. And she's by day just a normal suburban mom with annoying glasses, and by night she tracks down extremists on 4chan. What do we got? Oh, that's creepy.
It's the best we got. I mean, I think it'd be.
I mean, you don't have to do that for the next 2 hours. That wouldn't be very smart.
Kind of awesome.
I mean, if you want to, your arm might get tired though.
What do you think? What do you think, chat?
I've zoomed in too far now.
Chat, what do you say? Would you prefer
this? All a crazy mess.
Yeah, I don't know.
I need to look at his shot while I adjust it to properly.
Gosh.
You can move the screen in slobs.
Oh yeah, you can move Phil in OBS, but
True.
Yeah. Anyway, lastly, we're going to talk about a new sort of branch off of normal tradwife content, which is sweeping TikTok. There are these women advising mostly single women how to demand princess treatment from their male counterparts, and it basically seems like they're all equally miserable.
Most women don't deserve princess treatment because I saw the books that they're reading. We talked about it last night. It's disgusting. You're no better than the gooner.
I wouldn't say most women are reading Morning Glory milking far.
Well, look,
probably 90%.
It's
90?
Like, well, look at
It's a conservative
50 Shades of Grey was only one step better than that because it was a man as opposed to a literal bestiality book.
Well,
you
yes.
degenerates.
Yeah, that's fair. But I wouldn't say even most women read that. 50 Shades of Grey. Am I out of touch? I feel like, yes, it sold a lot, but I don't think most women read
So you're
that.
probably right that most didn't, but I would say that most dudes are not, obsessive gooners either, but there's enough of them to make the rest of us look bad.
And by the way, guys, I also wanted to mention we're not live on Rumble. I think that we're just going to blame that on Rumble. We're going to blame Phil's lighting situation on Shane.
Phil, I'll take the L on Phil's shot. That was me. I don't know what I'm doing. Rumble, I think, is a Rumble issue. I was informed before the show, like the
it's definitely Rumble's fault.
Right, like Paul Revere came down. Rumble's down. So I think we're off the hook there.
That's fine. And before we dive into the show, make sure you've subscribed to the channel if you have not done so already. And I'm not sure why you would, but share the show with everyone you know. We really appreciate it. And also, any super chats, $20 and over, we're going to do our best to get to those right as soon as they're sent throughout the show. And Brett, as I reminded you yesterday, is not coming back unless we get 2 crisis parties per day minimum.
How are we? We got 2 yesterday, right?
3 yesterday, 3 on Thursday.
They don't carry over, though. They don't carry over. So 3 yesterday and 3 Thursday. You still need 2 today. You need 2 tomorrow.
We're holding them accountable.
This is not, you're not going to add them up, or save them up in the beginning of the week and be like, oh, we can coast at the end of the week.
Yeah, and it's all going straight to the honeymoon fund.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to get started with the resurgence of the Y2K theory. This is now being called Y2K 2.0 or Y2K 38, which doesn't really have a great ring to it. But essentially, the theory goes that the internet as we know it is going to completely collapse on January 19th, 2038. It says a huge number of systems still run on 32-bit timekeeping, which counts time as seconds that have passed since January 1st, 1970. That number maxes out on January 19th, 2038 at exactly 3:14 Universal Coordinated Time. After that, the clock snaps back to 1901, and anything like banks, hospitals, transportation, or pacemakers could glitch, crash, or straight up stop working. If history has taught us anything, it's that we can do a pretty good collective job of ignoring any issue that's nearly that far in the future. So this influencer called the hippie hacker explained it, and we're going to need this explainer because I certainly don't have the technological expertise. Let's listen to her.
The internet has an expiration date. It's called the year 2038 problem, and it can break computers all over the world. You see, a ton of old systems keep track of time by counting seconds since January 1st, 1970. But they only use 32 bits of memory to do this. That means the clock runs out on January 19th, 2038 at 3:14 a.m. UTC. At that moment, the counter flips back to negative numbers. So what would happen is that systems that aren't patched would think that the date is December 1901. So imagine a hospital monitor, a banking system, or a flight software suddenly thinking it's in the wrong century. That could trigger crashes, data corruption, or total shutdowns. And we've actually been through something like this before, the Y2K bug. But this one's a little bit sneakier because it can hide in embedded devices like routers, elevators, industrial machines, things that people forget they need to update. We don't know how many systems are going to be vulnerable until the date gets closer. Some experts are saying the impact could be small, while others say it could cripple our critical infrastructure. So is the year 2038 problem the next Y2K panic, or the digital apocalypse that nobody's ready for?
Okay.
Listen, before we get into it, everybody needs to keep this a secret from India. So that way you don't have to deal with any more Indian call centers. All their computers will go down. No more call centers.
Yes.
No more scammers. No more anything from India. Like it's just over for them, and the rest of the world can go on in peace.
I agree. I was just about to say, I don't know about all you, but I am happy that like this is a possibility. I think it's great that there is a possibility that the internet and social media is just going to stop existing while we're all still alive and able to enjoy life without it. So maybe this is just a panic. Maybe it's Y2K, 2 Electric Boogaloo, but I think that this could actually reap a lot of benefits for us as a society.
Most people, I mean, neither of you guys are old enough to remember Y2K.
No.
Obviously. I'm ancient, so I do. And
I was in utero during Y2K.
Some people think, it was not a big deal and et cetera, et cetera. But really what happened was thousands of people were going into computer systems across around the world, thousands and thousands, and fixing it. So there was a remark about ignoring it, and I'm not sure if she meant that it was going to be something that people were going to ignore and it would just be fine, or if she just meant that most people don't have to pay attention to it. But there's a lot of people that are under the impression that Y2K was just not actually a big deal. It was all like, it's not, it's going to happen, and then nothing happened. When in reality, there was a lot of time and effort spent putting in, fixing the problem before it came, and that's why there was no major shutdown.
Okay, so it would have actually caused major problems if nobody intervened?
I don't know what
Or they just intervened in case?
Yes, they intervened in case.
They didn't ever find out if it was going to happen.
It was a preemptive.
You can't know for sure because they did intervene, but because they intervened, because they intervened, you can't, like I said, you can't know for sure. So
I think the nerds should stand down here. I think they should just let this thing crash.
If we know what's good for us, we're not going to intervene in this one. We know better now.
Yeah.
We've lived with the internet long enough. It's exhausted all of its benefits at this point. I think we know. And I know you're like a shill for like Apple specifically. I looked into this.
It's just the same doomer stuff. Like, there's nothing good that's come from computers, and everything would be better if we didn't have them.
I'm like
such
a
ridiculous
bit more of a Luddite, but like, as unlikely as this is, if it does happen, I'm not going to be too pissed about it. I
wouldn't have a job.
I went into my my calendar on my iPhone and set a reminder for like noon on January 19th, 2038.
Update resume.
Like maybe, maybe a job search begins now.
LinkedIn lock-in.
But it remains to be seen. It seems like any iPhone past the iPhone 5 will be affected by this if it's true. The iPhone keeps time by calculating the number of seconds passed since January 1st, 1970 at midnight GMT. Many iPhones store this particular number as a 32-bit integer, and the maximum possible 32-bit number is 2 to the power of 31 minus 1, or 2,147,483,647. This means that after that number of seconds, the iPhone system time will overflow, at least for the 32-bit devices, which is, I think, everything that's on the market right now, causing various problems to arise. And it already is such that there's planned obsolescence in Apple products anyway. Right. So you likely can't use an iPhone 5 these days anyway. I have met someone who still has an iPhone 5 in 2025, and I thought that was really cool.
Someone we were discussing, pretty sure they have an iPhone 4 and they're still using it.
I just wonder, like, how do you even charge it?
Yeah, it's like the big fat one still.
I love the home button. I love everything about it, the way it just fits in your hand and you don't worry about dropping it. I feel like part of the reason they made the iPhone so huge is because they want you to drop it and buy a new one.
Right.
Do you? What's so funny?
I looked over and it's still dark. That's funny to me.
Yeah.
I got the shot fixed.
If we were inverted world, we would just blame it on demons.
The crazy thing is inverted world is like when you're in there, it's a bright room as well. I thought it was all dark because when you see the video like on a screen or whatever, it looks like they're trying to do mood lighting. No, there's plenty of lights in there.
We look fine. I don't know. I don't know what Phil's deal is.
What happened?
I'm the one that's not a Catholic. you know, or a devout Catholic.
Could be.
So that's what it might be.
Possibly.
Actually, you're not a devout Catholic, are you? No.
I'm a prot. I'm a
Prot.
nasty little prot. Yeah.
A Presbyterian, right?
Yeah, it's like as bad as it gets. We still baptize the kids. We got that going.
As long as you're not Episcopalian. I saw that.
I'm not gay.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's like, you know, Catholic gay.
And the Episcopal, not to get on a tirade, but it's like that used to be like the church in America. Like 32 presidents, I think, were Episcopalians, and then now it's just like the aura's all gone. It's really sad to see.
Oh, right, because Episcopalians are what branched
Anglicans.
out of Anglicanism.
They're literally just Anglicans, but they didn't
they-
want the king being the head.
Right.
So they just remixed it.
We have a 20 from Pop Culture Junkie. There were only minor issues during the Y2K issue. Casino slot machines, an airport luggage system, and some other embedded devices, not many involving standalone computers that had all been patched. Well, I think people were more mild-mannered back then, and maybe those minor inconveniences wouldn't cause anyone to crash out, but these days...
Right.
I don't know. I think people are so on edge. Like, you can tell just interacting with the general public that everyone is on just the hair's edge of a total public crash out. And if there is any minor inconvenience to their DoorDash order showing up on time because of Y2K 38, it might be total public meltdown.
Right. Well, you're seeing in Nepal right now where they just cut off TikTok access and then they're all crashing out.
And you see what happens when you do that.
Wait, where was TikTok
This is in
cut off?
Nepal right now. I mean, there's a
Why?
little more to the story, but like the camel.
Is it the government?
Yeah,
that
the straw
decided
that broke the camel's back is they're
Oh.
like limiting access to TikTok and Instagram Reels, and you're gonna get a crash out.
Well, TikTok is supposed to shut down in the U.S. this year. I forget when, but...
And it blows my mind that Elon hasn't dug Vine back up to replace it. Because if you brought Vine back when TikTok's on the way out, it'd be the biggest app.
Vine
probably
was, looking back, very wholesome.
What is it that you can do on Vine that you couldn't do with like making a video and putting it on X now?
The best part of Vine is that you could do less with Vine because it was only 7 seconds.
Yeah, okay,
like, that's actually the limiting principle made
yeah.
it what it was.
And Vine was, I mean, all these carousel apps now, like TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts, were emulating Vine. And then Vine fumbled.
Well, the founder of Vine, like, killed himself in a really weird
because
way.
he sold to Twitter and he was like really mad about it and then just crashed out.
Yeah.
It was really weird. Like it was kind of like the Flappy Bird. Remember him where he just had this like.
Right. Well, he didn't end his life, but he
got
did like
super
shut down the app
introspective
because he was like worried about it being too addictive.
He was like, "What have I done?"
Yeah.
And all he did was like Flappy Bird.
Okay.
Yeah, he was like crashing out. Anyway.
We're gonna move on to a topic that's actually a holdover from yesterday. You know, this reminds me of those tweets that are saying there are entire worlds that you know nothing about. I know nothing about SEC culture. I always say, find you a man who thinks SEC stands for Securities and Exchange Commission. But most of the time when people are referring to SEC, they mean the Southeastern Conference, which covers a lot of schools that are in D1 athleticism. And there are these couples right now. Thank you.
Whoa.
Hold, please. Phil just looks like he's having an even worse time than usual. So, obviously, the college students are going back to campus and the football season is beginning. And they're posting a bunch of TikToks about rush season because a lot of them are in Greek life. But these SEC couples are truly a sight to behold. It's like a culture that I knew nothing about. And I think that you, being a Southerner, have more context for this. There was this one particular couple from TikTok that got screenshotted and then dragged on X so unfairly the other day. And I felt the need to defend them because people are literally bullying them, like these random teenagers, for like supposedly not being accurately looks matched with each other.
This was a looks match until like 15 years ago.
That's what a lot of people are saying. We'll get into that in a second. I wanted to show this this TikTok next from Tasteful Lindy. It says "Head South, young man," and it shows in the caption it says "Coke date season." Can you tell me what a Coke date is?
I think that means doing cocaine, right?
I don't think that these kids are doing cocaine.
So the thing about SEC culture, broadly speaking, is there's huge churn. Like everything changes very rapidly at breakneck speed. So I'm 2 years removed from college. I mean, I didn't go to an SEC school, but that's the culture I came from. Most of my friends did. And the environment that we were in is completely different from what's going on now. I don't know what a Coke date is.
I don't know what a Coke date is either, but it appears that these students are these male students are filing into a sorority house, and they're getting randomly paired with the girls who are walking down the staircase.
You'll notice
to go to a party together.
Right.
They walk to the party together, but I
Right.
learned when you get to the party, you don't stay with the person that you walked there with.
Okay.
You just go your separate ways once you make it to the party.
Well, you'll notice
So-
this gentleman here, and you'll see this throughout the video if we skim here. These gentlemen, the backs of their shirts. These gentlemen here with theirs. These are Peter Millar. So this is a brand that has been popularized very recently in the SEC specifically. And it's a brand of polos that have really taken the SEC by storm. So these gentlemen here are donning Peter Millar golf shirts. And this is formal wear. So like when I was coming through, it was Vineyard Vines shirt, like an Oxford shirt. It was khakis.
Simply Southern as well.
Simply Southern, and then you would pair that with maybe some Sperry Topsiders.
Yes.
Where now the game has changed. So now you're going Peter Millar golf shirt. You're going Lululemon.
They
khakis.
sell khakis at Lululemon?
Oh, they sell khakis. They sell khakis.
Wow.
They will sell you a pair of khakis.
This is news to me.
And the shoes is rapidly changing right now. The general mood in the SEC is a New Balance. People are big on the New Balance.
Right, the
and
dad shoes.
Right. Air Force Ones are out. So 2 years ago. So that is the new uniform of the SEC. And as you finally start to learn these things from the outside, it will change. So in 2 to 3 years, it'll be a completely different wardrobe. Peter Millar will be out. You know, who knows what the next big pant is? Maybe the return to jeans. I don't know.
I assume you know less about the fashion trends for the women dating the SEC guys.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. But I know.
I mean, I'm guessing a lot of them
involved.
they're going to be wearing like it used to be Lily Pulitzer. Like all of the girls at these schools wore Lily Pulitzer.
Right.
Now I think they're wearing Love Shack, Fancy, Free People, Lululemon.
Lulu's still got the tight grip on everything.
And probably Pretty Little Thing post rebrand. Anyway, I really disagree with the negativity that's being sent their way.
Agreed.
I don't see anything wrong with this. I don't think they're referring to snorting cocaine.
No.
Although some of them might be dabbling in those things. For the most part, I think it's just jealousy and like people of a different socioeconomic status not relating to them because
the SEC
these kids are paying full ride. Yeah,
well, a lot of them are Northerners. So like the big problem in the SEC burners, which I'm sure you're familiar with, the audience maybe not so much, is there's the burner verse. It's kind of on the way out now, but it was SEC students specifically would make a burner Twitter and they would just talk a bunch of mess on there. And that's a
they
good
had Yik Yak too.
Right. It's a good way to get a glimpse into what's going on.
Did you use Yik Yak
in
college?
Yeah, and I got banned because I name dropped someone.
Is that against the rules on Yik
you
Yak?
can't name drop.
I think Yik Yak still might exist, but nobody uses it.
It still exists, but it's mostly different kinds of people that use it.
Okay.
Yeah. But I remember, and I went to school in New York, so I was very removed, but I went to a school that was populated by Long Island students, and that still shared a lot of similarities with the SEC culture, for sure. And Yik Yak was a big thing. That's where you go and you would settle scores, right?
Guys, if you don't know Yik Yak, it was this app that was popular in the 2010s where you would make an anonymous account and you could drop a post that would just be visible to the people in your, what was it, a radius of like,
it was like 5 miles.
5 miles or something, and you could be in a college classroom and be like, cough if you're in philosophy 101 right now, and then the professor would get really confused. I don't know, like it was usually not used for tea.
No, at my school it was mostly people carving stuff into the carpet in the laundry rooms. Like different shapes and that sort of thing. Yeah, I know, but people, it became an arms race of who could like put the most abstract art into the carpet, and then they would go on Yik Yak and they would celebrate their victory.
Okay.
So there was a thing. I think most of the tension with the SEC, why people are so upset about this, why there's so much vitriol pointed at their direction, is because they're wealthy, of course. They're also just not they're very attractive, conventionally attractive people.
Well, pull these two up again, because I have some takes on their looks match debate that I've pulled up here. One said, You hear women whine about unrealistic beauty standards, but these SEC posts show it's really men being judged unrealistically. This is a perfectly normal, reasonably handsome guy. You expected this girl to be dating a movie star? And I think the only respect in which she's out of his league is that he's a little bit pudgy, but he could fix that easily. He's like
and
12.
The SEC, we're a little pudgier down there, like, you know, because you have Cage.
It's bulking season.
You have Cookout. You have these sorts of restaurants. You have Chick-fil-A. So it's like, this is actually.
I always thought Cookout sucked.
Oh, Cookout! I love Cookout.
I'm a transplant. I'm a Marylander that moved to North Carolina.
Okay.
And I did not understand. And I also wasn't even like in the South properly.
Sure.
I was in Raleigh, which is just another, these days, copy and paste city that you could find anywhere in the U.S.
It's like a Boston suburb.
Yeah.
South.
Yeah. So
But
there were kids wearing the uniform, but no one had an accent.
Well, I liked Cookout because Cookout is sort of if you put a child in charge of the menu. It's like I'll have a quesadilla.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
Have, like, cheese
it's the
bites.
Tim Hortons of the South.
Yeah, but I think it really did something for me because I have really bad taste, generally speaking, like with pretty much everything. And Cookout was no different, and it really did something for me. It really scratched an itch. It really filled a void that was in my soul. Was Cookout. You get your ice cold Cheerwine shake, and then you get your 2 chicken quesadillas.
Never
you pair that
understood
with
the
a cheese
Cheerwine
bite.
thing either.
You pair it with a walking taco. You could do that there. You could do a little bit of everything. And it was like $6. Like, that was the craziest part. It was
probably
like,
not anymore.
And the employees weren't like falling up, like their lives weren't falling apart. We went pretty hard on the employees of the fast food establishments across the United States yesterday. The cookouts that I go to,
I've had terrible experiences with Cookout employees.
Look, they definitely have substance abuse problems. There's no doubt about that. But like generally speaking, these were guys and gals that were just excited to work at Cookout. Maybe not excited, but
I disagree. The last time I was at a Cookout, which wasn't that long ago, it was probably like after the heyday of Cookout, and this will be the last time I'm ever going to a Cookout.
Okay.
The employee at the drive-thru like turned on the speaker and didn't say anything and just expected us to hear the static and start talking. Yeah. And then we were confused and we were like, hello? Is anyone there? And he was like, what do you want?
Right.
And started yelling at us. And I was like, is this just built into the prices?
You know how many people in this country want Cookout? They don't have time to do all this little small
and also,
talk.
I got a peanut butter milkshake that just didn't taste like peanut butter at all.
Well,
kind of disappointing.
And that's another great thing about Cookout is it's a little bit of intrigue, a little misstery. You don't know quite.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Cookout is like a box of chocolates.
Real. Well, I mean, compare that to Burger King, where it's like half the time your order is just completely wrong.
Another take said this was considered an absolute stone cold looks match 40 years ago, but now people gawk at them like they're zoo animals. Another one said, from my fraternity days 20 years ago, these types of couples were very common.
Yeah.
The dude has a rich family. It's that simple. I can't speak for other parts of the country, but in the SEC, the hot sorority girls are on a mission to lock down the richest guy they can. One of my fraternity brothers was a few points lower than this guy and married a girl who was always shown on TV during games because she was so beautiful. He wasn't tall. He wasn't in shape. He wasn't good looking, but he took her on his dad's private jet to away games. Still happily married with 5 kids living on the lake and jetting around. I mean, I assume most of these kids don't have dads that own private jets, but similar situations.
They're probably own a real estate company
something
or something
like that. Like they're gonna have their first job out of college at their dad's company.
Right. Yeah.
Another one said, these pictures pop up every so often and people say he comes from wealth. She just wants his money. Maybe. But Southern colleges have lots of guys like this who are jovial frat dudes who are nice and fun. The girl likes that because he reminds her of her dad or brother, but like not in a weird way.
That's the problem. Is
not in a weird way.
Hopefully.
In the South, society is still functioning to some degree, right? Especially in the evangelical world, society is still functioning to some degree. So you have people from the rest of the country who fundamentally have gone through a lot, right? A lot of things have happened to them. They've had pretty tough lives. So they're projecting that onto these kids, saying, oh, she's just marrying him for his money. And I'm like, no, this is a couple that just likes each other. Like, because in the SEC, and the similar things going on in Utah is their lives are actually just, they're having good childhoods. They're like, well put together, these sorts of things.
The Mormons are locked in.
Yeah, they're not going through all this stuff. And so the rest of us in the country, we're looking in and we're projecting sort of the trauma onto these couples. And it's like, that's not what's happening. This couple just genuinely likes each other. The woman probably finds the man, somewhat attractive and
pleasant to be around.
Pleasant, yeah. So it's
well
like
socialized, unlike many young men these days.
Right.
That's why I wanted to do a callback to these.
Unlike many young men
these
these
two
days.
infamous photos in a tweet that I put out some months back. These two photos will send right-wing Twitter into a meltdown anytime that they're reposted, because it just represents normalcy, and so few chronically online people understand that. And if photos like this outrage you, something is wrong with you, not the people in the photo.
And this is very, the SEC, this still exists in the Southeast United States. Again, specifically in like the evangelical world. Life still is like this to a large degree.
This picture was taken probably like 15 years ago or more.
And this one's recent.
More recent,
I mean, you can just tell this is recent.
But they're the same people, and
I saw this all the time.
They're in their own bubble, and that's a good thing.
My high school experience, I didn't have W Riz like him, but I was like, had like fairly normal experience. It's when I was pulled out of that is when things got a little weird. So I think in the southern United States, there's a lot of problems. There's pertinent anti-intellectualism. There's a lot that can be said about that, and that's probably a good thing to some degree. But like society still functions fairly normally down there. It's just true. Most of my friends that I grew up in Memphis, in a Memphis suburb, and all my friends that I grew up with, to a large degree, have pretty normal lives. Like they're married, they're getting married 20, 23, 24, they're having children now. They have decent jobs. Like everything is just kind of working like clockwork. And then I compared it to my friends, like I went to high school in like South Texas. I mean, it's like the bar scene from Star Wars down there. Like the women have like, crazy neck tattoos, and the guys are just like wearing cowboy hats everywhere, but they're not even like cowboys, they like work as a car dealer. And then New York is like a total free for everyone's doing coke, like it's
Sometimes
crazy.
you're not invited to the function because you don't do coke.
Right.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's legitimate, right?
Right. So it's like, and they're not getting married till they're like 40, if you even make it that long. Like it's crazy up there. And then you go down to like a Memphis suburb, and you get this. You get something very beautiful like this. The kids are going to school in their Broncos with their Peter Millar shirts.
I knew a girl from one of my schools in North Carolina whose dad owned a car dealership, and it was like a Jeep dealership, and she got for her 16th birthday just a decked out like pink Barbie Jeep that she drove to school.
Yeah.
And one day she took a turn like quite aggressively and just toppled it upside down in the school parking lot.
That's an aura hit. Yeah, like in the South, there's the seniors are still painting their parking spaces in the South. People don't realize this is commonplace in the southern United States.
They paint their cars for graduation.
And I'm not saying it's a utopia. I mean, for one, the weather's horrid. The weather is absolutely horrid. There's no question about that. So I'm not saying, and there's a lot of other problems, right? Like we'll get into it. But generally, if you want like a normal American life, the South, you can still get that in a lot of places. You just kind of have to like get off Twitter. You need to throw away some of your books that you have, and you need to
throw away Bronze Age mindset.
Certainly have to
reconnect with reality.
If you know if you even know what that is, it's too late for you.
Probably over for you.
This right here, this love. If you know what Bronze Age mindset is, it's over for you already. It's over.
Well, I say my decree is some of the kids, maybe a small portion of the kids, are all right.
Yeah.
That's where I'll leave it. Yeah. We have Cringe of the Day
Let's
next.
See. Cringe of the Day.
And Phil, I promise today's episode is not going to be chock full of cringe.
Thank God.
There's plenty of it,
it was like the entire episode on Thursday was just cringe after
this
cringe
is
after cringe.
This is actually a little dig at some of these mega
I feel like I just snorted cocaine or something. I'm so excited. I never did that before. For the record. For the record. For the record. For the record. But I'm clapping my head.
Yeah,
just gets you in the mood to worship.
So there's a lot to unpack here. Well, this ties into SEC culture very well because
is there part of these churches?
Yeah, so Stephen Furtick, he's a pastor of Elevation Church in Charlotte, and I call these types of churches, no offense if you go to one, because there's very lovely people there. There's no doubt about it. There's a lot of God-fearing people in these churches, so I'm not questioning that. But his church is the epitome of like a McDonald's church, in which you have your central location, Elevation Church, which is like in an arena. And then they have like 50 campuses all around the Charlotte metro, and I think around North Carolina and South Carolina. And he's like the head honcho.
Okay.
Like in the children's church, the kids draw pictures of him. Like that was a story that came out, which was insane. You know, he's like jacked. And then what happens, and this is very emblematic of SEC culture of the Southeast United States, is these types of churches, these types of mega churches, is the pastors try to emulate black pastors.
I could tell. Yeah.
This is a serious problem. They start dressing like that. You know, they get some beard oil on them, and something happens to them. And then
some shea butter.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know what's going on.
I don't believe that beard oil does that.
You know,
I'm sitting here with a beard.
Sure, there's I'm not saying correlation causation. I'm just saying this tends to happen. And and a lot of people in the South go to these types of churches. The mega churches are very big down there, and I understand it because they're actually quite pleasant experiences. You get a golf cart on the way in, then you get a cup of coffee, you sit down. It's
they always have a coffee shop inside.
Yeah, it's like a rock concert, and then you get your TED talk, and you get to do a little stomp and clap, and you really feel good about yourself.
This is the real stomp clap hey music.
Yeah, I went to when I was in high school. I went to a mega church for about 3 years, and it was a lot like this.
Okay.
And it's very emblematic of the South because the South, they go big. This is kind of like the lifted Ford F-150 of Christendom to a large degree. Is the Stephen Furtick mega church, and this model is being implemented nationwide. It is what it is. It's these pastors that are also playing the part of like life coach.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Stephen Furtick, because you look at him, he's jacked, he's got like a beautiful family, he's doing well for himself. So a lot of men who are kind of spiraling, they see someone like him, and it's someone that they can emulate. And then the women like him because, look at him. Well,
I'm gonna not
look at him.
I don't really understand this as a Catholic. That I'm totally, this is foreign to me. But thank you for teaching us about your culture.
Well, and some people are pointing out in chat, North Carolina's ACC. That's true. A lot of the ACC ties into SEC culture. Like I know Florida State's in the ACC, but a lot of the same
there's cross-pollination.
Yeah, a lot of the same trends you're seeing there. But the mega church is like, and again, I'm not necessarily. I mean, it's problems we could get into like theology and everything. But as far as like as a function for someone on a Sunday, there's a lot of good people in those churches. I'll say a lot of normal people. The reality is normal Americans. Like very normal Americans that are just doing their thing, just living their lives. They're going to these churches that are
that is true.
Yeah, so it's like, if we're gonna keep the same energy we had with the previous story, where it's like these are normal, this is what normal Americans are doing. You have to look at this and say, yeah,
okay,
this is just where we're at.
Well, maybe you changed my mind. Maybe it's not as cringe as I thought.
Oh, it's horribly cringe. It's horribly cringe. And Stephen Furtick's a big problem because it's prosperity gospel and he's leading people astray. But I see that and I go, yeah, that's just kind of where America's at.
All right. Well, with that out of the way, we're going to jump into our lead story for the day. Sydney Sweeney is currently on the press circuit for her upcoming movie called Christy. This is a biopic about a female boxer, and a lot of people for the past several months have been noting the transformation that she undertook to play this role. She gained, I think, something like 30 to 40 pounds for the role. She was relying on a lot of Smuckers and milkshakes, she said, to build the muscle. And she also
is great.
She went to brunette hair and a mullet for the role. I wanted to show some of the photos of her from when she was in the middle of filming. This was around the time, by the way, that there were photos of her circulated in a bikini, and all the men freaked out and said that she was mid suddenly overnight, and we needed to check ourselves.
Dumb place.
And she's also in this next slide, like wearing the very like 80s workout attire with the sort of mullet situation. I don't know if that's her real hair or if they gave her a wig for this. But yeah, currently critics are giving this movie rave reviews. It has not premiered in theaters yet for us, but it's soon. And she's doing a bunch of interviews. She was recently at TIFF, and this was her first public appearance since the controversy over her American Eagle commercial. And obviously, a lot of journalists were going to take that opportunity to ask her about the controversy and see if they could get a soundbite out of her, which she did not enjoy. This was from her interview with Vanity Fair. She hasn't spoken about the divisive ads yet and tells Vanity Fair that she doesn't plan to start now. I'm there to support my movie and the people involved in making it, and I'm not there to talk about jeans. The movie is about Christy, and that's what I'll be there to talk about. So they didn't like that. I don't think journalists ever like staying on topic. They're desperate to bait her into some kind of soundbite about the controversy. They want her to talk about race. They want her to denounce the people that idolize her on X for being, you know, MAGA-peds. Like, they really want that soundbite, and she refuses to give it to them, which is a smart move, of which she's made many. But I will offer this critique, and it's that you can't be taken seriously after doing ads like the one that she did for Dr. Squatch, specifically the bathwater soap, or the American Eagle campaign. You can't do those things as a public figure and then expect people to turn and treat you like a serious auteur, a serious actress who is in these art indie films. And this is the type of thing that she's starring in lately. She was in another one called Americana that premiered recently that no one talked about because it's just a random indie art nerd film that isn't really what she's known for at this point. She's more so known for being Sydney Sweeney than for the projects that she stars in. And Christy is no different. She's obviously not in this role to cater to the male gaze or anything like that. And people don't even know about this stuff. I've seen feminists railing against her for only taking roles or commercials that cater to patriarchal beauty standards, but that just flies in the face of her actual rap sheet when you take a look at it. She played reality winner in this movie last year. Definitely, I mean, I'm sorry, but if you look up the pictures of her in that role, she's not, you know, red carpet ready. She's playing Christy, and she put on so much muscle and so much weight for that role that her male fans actually were insulting her looks as a result. And also in the film Immaculate, she's dressed up in a nun's garb the entire time. And yeah, there was a little bit of explicit scenes in that movie, but for the most part, it's just an indie art film. And people didn't pay attention to those roles that she took. She wants to somehow convert the public image that she's cultivated over the last year with these commercials and her star power into people paying attention to her art projects. But that's just not going to be a successful endeavor for her, if I had to guess. And so far, the responses I've seen to that comment she gave to Vanity Fair are just like dudes on Twitter saying like, yeah, I like her tits. Like, no one's going to talk about this movie, which is counterproductive to what her stated goals are. If she's planning to use her brand value to propel her acting career. She's not actually that good at acting. She's good at picking roles. She's good at business. She's starting a lingerie brand that's actually funded by Jeff Bezos. But
look, so your opinion on her acting maybe you're right. Maybe she's not a great actor, but she is doing the commitment things necessary to become a great actor, right? Like, not very few people will actually change their bodies for a role.
That's true.
Very few people. They'll take roles that
a lot of men won't.
Yeah, they'll take roles that are complementary to their body. But when you see things like, I forget his name, the guy that played, it's slipped my mind, he played Batman a bunch.
Ben Affleck?
No, he played Batman in The Dark Knight, and Christian Bale. The transformations that he's done, from going from overweight to emaciated and stuff. There are people that would say that he's not a great actor. But, you know, the commitment level.
You have to admire that.
You have to admire the commitment level. So maybe Sydney Sweeney isn't, you know, maybe she's not going to cry on command. But the commitment level and the effort that she's putting in to really change her body the way that she has, that's worth something. And it's something that shows that she does, even if she's not elite level, she does take it seriously, and she does actually want to be taken seriously as an actor beyond just being attractive.
Right.
And the fact that she can play both, you know, she can play in both arenas. She can play in the arena where she's making, you know, fairly lighthearted but sexy remarks like the Sasquatch stuff or the Dr. Squatch stuff or the Gene stuff, right? And she's also in movies that are ostensibly serious movies like this. I think she deserves credit for that.
Yeah, that's fair. I just think you can't have it both ways. And that's how a lot of actresses operate in their industry, is that they want to have it both ways. They want to play into sex appeal when it's convenient for them. And then when they want to be, quote unquote, taken seriously as an artist, they get mad that they have been placed in this box of being a sex symbol. You either reap the benefits of being a sex symbol or you don't.
Doesn't the fact that she has changed her body so much for that role and done other stuff show that she's not looking to be just a sex symbol?
Well, I just think it's ironic for her to, express frustration at journalists like taking so much interest in her commercial roles compared to her indie movie roles, when like obviously you're garnering more attention by advertising jeans than by playing a female boxer.
But is that
like, you can't manage how people perceive you that closely.
I agree with that. And so like you totally can't manage how people perceive you, but isn't it justified to say, look, you guys are focusing on this stuff and this is because of the media, but I'm more than this stuff. I'm all of these things.
You can certainly try. I just think like for the most part it's a futile endeavor, because once you're doing what she did in Euphoria, for instance, literally like just the most like explicit pornographic stuff for a TV show on HBO.
Right.
No one is really gonna be able to humanize you after that. Like, she's not taken seriously by the people who like her or by the people who dislike her at this point. And the American Eagle ad confused me for many reasons, because she doesn't really have a sizable fan base of women, and they were obviously using this commercial to advertise a product that's for women, the jeans, namely.
I don't know that I could speak to her female fans.
She used to have a stronger female following when she was in stuff that she did before Euphoria. Then over time, she's lost it, and for obvious reasons, has a stronger appeal to a male audience. But they're doing this commercial for jeans for women. And she doesn't have this dedicated female fan base that sees her as something they want to aspire to. I don't think there are a lot of women who aspire toward Sydney Sweeney. They don't want to be her because they see the trade-offs that she has accepted for being a sex symbol. And they didn't end up selling as many actual products as they ended up selling shares in American Eagle.
I don't think that the goal of that campaign was actually to sell jeans.
Right.
It was to sell American Eagle.
It was about brand value, because everyone thought before that commercial came out that this was just a dead in the water mall brand that hasn't been relevant since millennials like bought American Eagle polos 20 years ago.
Yeah.
People thought that they shut down.
Yeah.
And this was the first time people even were reminded of American Eagle in years. And they went on an earnings call recently where the CMO for American Eagle claimed that those products did actually sell out within 1 week, with some selling out within a day, saying Sydney Sweeney sells great jeans, trying to counteract the narrative that this wasn't just for shareholders.
Right.
I disagree with that, and obviously the way that these earnings calls are conducted is like, we're just going to paint the most flattering picture we possibly can for our investors. But they stage selling out. Like, these companies stage how they want a product launch to go. This is common in cosmetics, in in fashion companies. They decide what number of products they want to reach the selling out benchmark, and it doesn't reflect the amount of product they actually produced for the campaign.
Right.
So we are not supposed to just trust him on face value anyway, but their stock soared. They got a lot of attention in the media, and then they put out the Travis Kelce campaign that pretty much no one cared about, but they're crediting the brand deals with Sydney Sweeney and Travis Kelce as driving their growth. And as Brett pointed out several weeks ago, they didn't drive sales according to early data, actually selling product. And then foot traffic was down by 9% at American Eagle stores following Sydney Sweeney's controversy. I wouldn't even blame that on the controversy. I would blame that on, first of all, back to school season. Like, teenagers aren't hanging out in the mall as much as they were during the summer. Also, teenagers don't hang out in the mall because it's 2025 and they don't hang out in public in general. They're in their bedrooms, and mall traffic has been down incrementally every year for many years at this point. I wouldn't blame that on the controversy, but I just think it's funny how we're using commercial campaigns and consumerism, basically, as I think you pointed out yesterday, as these cultural flashpoints when they don't actually reflect consumer interests.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
the Cracker Barrel thing, for instance. Like,
Sure.
people are acting like this is some kind of like watershed moment for all of Western civilization.
I just think it was funny.
Like, I
Yeah.
would like to just treat it as like a funny thing that happened and not be like the vibe shift. Like, it's
Yeah,
a little
fair to say
over
it's-
dramatic.
Yeah, it's fair to say it's like a component of larger trends, but it's like to act like it is the hill to die on, the watershed moment. It's like, no, it's just emblematic. It's a good rally. It's a good mustering point for a larger trend, and it's like, okay, you can maybe send a message here, and that's a warning to other brands. But to act like the West has died because of Cracker Barrel.
Because we lost, what did they call him? The old cracker? No,
Yeah,
they didn't.
I should have known
What
this.
would they call him? Old friend?
Because I was on the front lines of this, and I was like, I'm sitting there like, guys, this is
Yeah.
just funny. Like, we just gotta admit this is funny. And the Sydney Sweeney, I mean, American Eagle, they were staring down the same barrel that Aeropostale's staring down, which is getting banished to Ross.
Right.
Because once that happens, it's over. Like, it happened to
Right.
Echo, it happened to a few other brands. So they were looking.
Aeropostale, Hollister, Abercrombie and Fitch.
They were looking down the barrel of Ross, and they panicked. It's very. This could sound mean, but it's true. It's a very immigrant-coded brand.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, strong. You saw a really strong cologne. You can't put a finger on it. It's
definitely.
gonna be paired with an American Eagle.
I call it like
polo
nail
shirt.
tech fashion.
Yeah.
And I'm nothing against nail techs, but they wear Aeropostale
Like
and American
the
Eagle.
guys at the mall that are running the booth where they'll fix your phone. They're just
Yeah.
popping across and heading to American Eagle to top up their wardrobe. That's what's going
Absolutely.
on. And so they had to make a calculation. What happened? And what happened to American
And
Eagle?
True Religion, too.
True Religion. They made a calculation. They said preppy is in. Who is more preppy than Sydney Sweeney? A lot of people, but in their eyes, Sydney Sweeney. And so they said preppy's in, blonde's in, Sydney Sweeney. Let's just make it happen. So they
Fired it off.
threw a war chest at her, and
Yeah, right.
that's all it is. That's all that's really going on here. Is they know that TJ Maxx is probably
Right.
where they're going to be hanging around for a while. And look, I'm a TJ Maxx
Kohl's.
warrior. I'm a Kohl's Cash warrior. There's nothing wrong. Like that's where I thrive, quite frankly.
Diversify your portfolio with Kohl's Cash.
Yeah, precisely.
Well,
So it's like,
as
I've
for,
been known to frequent these places. This is not like a dig necessarily. I'm just saying, as a brand, you don't want to go there. It's a dark place.
Right.
You don't
And
get out.
they
You don't get
narrowly
out.
avoided it, which, yeah, to their credit, was a smart decision.
Champion
but
broke out for a little bit. Champion broke out of the Ross ghetto
they
for a
did.
little
And
bit.
Puma.
And Puma had a moment.
Yeah.
And now they're plunged right back down to Ross, where
Right. They had their moment in the sun.
I want to extrapolate too much, but there's a lot going on at Ross. There's a lot going on.
I'll say,
at Ross.
as for the trajectory of Sydney Sweeney's career and the prospect of her being, quote unquote, taken seriously as an artist or an actor, they, of course, don't like calling female actresses anymore. You have to be called an actor in order to be taken seriously. Right. I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see if she can succeed at that, and she's going to need to come to terms with the trade-offs that she's made, because yes, she's benefited immensely from the public relations backlash that she's gotten, but at the same time, you're not going to win with every crowd. And if she wants to be in all these indie films and be interviewed at film festivals about those films instead of her controversies, that's a delicate balance to strike. That's all I'll say.
She's swimming upstream, because right now all the people that are where she's trying to go, because right now she's college football game day coded. There's no question about it. That's where she's at, and that's where everyone's trying to get.
Yeah.
Because that's hot right now. That's where the money is, and it's exciting. That's kind of where the energy is. Like, look at what Timothée Chalamet, the routine he's done, where he was kind of in more where she wants to be. And now he's like going up there and giving predictions for West Virginia versus Miami of Ohio.
Because he's totally a bro, but nobody knew that.
Nobody knew it because he's swimming downstream, and a lot of people are heading that direction. But for whatever reason, she has this insecurity. Maybe or maybe she's a very simple person. That could also be what's going on. But regardless, she's going upstream while everyone's everyone's heading right downstream as fast as they can, and it's just like, why? Why you have lightning in a bottle? You are Theo Vaughn, Shane Gillis coded, And that's like the ticket right now. Why would you go the other direction? You know,
because it has an expiration date, and she wants to also make moves in the industry as a producer and a director, and she has the beginnings of those plans in place. She has her own production company. I don't know what the future holds for that company because she started it with her now ex-fiance, and she has not commented publicly on whether they're going to continue working together as professionals. Seems like that would muddy the waters, but we'll have to find out. I am going to move on to some super chats, though. This one I missed from yesterday. Shane H. Wilder said, I long for the days of old where husband and wives could be in the same room doing completely different things without even having to talk.
Yeah.
I don't... doesn't that still happen?
I mean, I still think couples have some similar interests.
My girlfriend and I can sit in the same room and like I'll be doing something with like
That's
she'll be
still a
like
thing.
knitting and I'll be like doing something with like usually like loading magazines or something like that. That's
like
literally
so stereotypical.
That seriously happens. I'm just sitting there shoving 9mm into magazines and she's sitting there knitting.
Right.
Shane
No
H.
kidding.
Wilder said, Happy Taco Tuesday, Mary and Tate. Taco Bell just released their Y2K menu of items from the early 2000s and gave everyone on the app a taco Tamagotchi. Let's go.
Did they bring back the caramel
Wow.
apple and banana?
They did for a while last year. I don't know about whether that's on the menu now.
Because I ate a lot of Taco Bell growing up and then a lot in college, and I had to wean off for a little while.
I've weaned myself off for the time being as well.
Yeah, but if the caramel apple and banana is back...
It doesn't seem like it would be that good, though. I never tried it, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. That's what it is. Well, yeah, and it was
It
interesting.
doesn't look very good.
It's like the hottest menu item ever made as far as temperature. Like, I don't know how they did it, but the interior of that caramel
It's like
banana...
a Hot Pocket.
I don't know how they did. I really don't know. I think they have like a foundry inside the Taco Bell, and they're like dipping it in, like a lava vat or something. And it's worth it. You just power through, and then the roof of your mouth's burned for the next 2 days, and you're like, yeah,
Worth it. High Voltage 75 said, Phil cloaked in darkness. That's so metal.
It's perfect, right? It fits. I think it's great.
At
I think
least
this is
for
the way
now.
I would prefer if this is the way that it was every time
We'll
I'm
just
on.
keep it that way.
we can talk to Surge for IRL. Maybe that can be like
Nah, not an IRL.
You can
just
make
here.
this your brand.
It's almost like we haven't unlocked you yet.
Yeah.
You're an
Right,
unlockable
yeah.
character.
Right. Yeah.
Shane H. Wilder said, Phil is here, I think. It's a little dark. Thanks for shouting out those prayers for Sophia, the girl from the Catholic school. Tim was preoccupied.
Yeah, Tim was making songs about the
Flotilla.
alleged attack on what's her name,
Greta
Greta Thunberg. Yeah,
Oh.
Greta Thunberg's flotilla, which apparently I saw a video afterwards. It wasn't an attack from a drone. They shot a flare in
Right.
the air and it fell back on their boat.
Oh,
and
bad
they're trying
luck.
to they're trying to blame it on,
Yeah.
they're trying to blame it on Israel or whatever.
Damn.
It's 2,000 miles away from Israel. Like they were off the coast of Tunisia, right? And they're just like, oh, it was Israel. It's like, bro, come on.
Greg Duvier said, Phil practices again to help the Congo revolution. I mean, the counter-revolution going on in the Congo.
There you go. I will be at the range on probably tomorrow. Sarah and I have a doctor's appointment. Then after that, I'm going to try and get an hour or so in. So there'll be more annoying videos of me trying to sharpen my sub-second draw.
Greg Duvier said, we need Brett back because we need Cute of the Day back. Mary's cringe black pills black pills mean more than any news Tim talks about. It wasn't that bad today. I thought it wasn't.
Today
it wasn't
was
like
just,
as bad as yesterday.
Prompted interesting commentary.
Nothing.
Also, someone in the chat was saying people in the South, sorry, I said the addresses, they say they don't go to megachurches, they go to the Southern Baptist Convention or SBC churches.
It's both.
But they're mostly going to the megachurches now. The data suggests this. And also,
yeah.
Elevation, Stephen Furtick Church was SBC for like the longest time. They recently left. So also a lot of the SBC churches, you don't even realize they're SBC churches.
They don't say it on the front.
Yeah, you assume it's a non-denom church.
Well, they're
and
all like
actually in
called
the SBC.
Cross Point or Crossroads
Right.
or
They don't have Baptist in the name anymore.
something
So-
with bridge in the name, Cross Bridge.
Yeah. Like I grew up SBC, and I was always fascinated to see that a lot of these churches you would not expect were indeed SBC churches. They just were in disguise, incognito.
Arsenal Man said Indian computers shutting down. I don't know what the rest of that says. Sorry.
Y2K.
Oh, I get it now.
That's
Okay.
good.
Phil looks like a special character that's not
Yeah,
unlocked yet.
There it is.
Ulvin McGoth said Rumble stream isn't working. Yeah, I think that's on Rumble's end today.
There were some murmurs and that
Sorry.
were getting passed around the communication channels that Rumble's having issues today.
Okay.
And I suspect that it's not me. And I would really like to absolve because
Yes.
there's already so much has gone wrong today. It would be nice
There's so much burden on your shoulders already.
if someone else would jump on the grenade. In this case, it's going to be the corporation behind Rumble.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to move on into our next topic. So, Apple TV is premiering this new show this month called The Savant. And here is the tagline for the show. By day, Jody is your average suburban mom. By night, she's uncovering the darkest corners of the internet. And this is starring Jessica Chastain. Basically, people are saying that she is playing the ultimate Karen power fantasy where she's doom scrolling at night on 4chan and, you know, Truth Social and Gab, and she's tracking down online extremist right-wing men, and she's going to discern which ones of them are going to turn their hate speech into hateful violence. So I want to show the trailer just to give you guys a sense for the message underneath this story.
Hey kids, come on.
What's she looking at?
She's working.
She's working. I thought this was a no-work weekend, Mom.
It's gonna be a coordinated
She's
mass
staring at the
attack.
computer screen, but we don't know what's on the computer screen.
The hunt has begun.
You hit her what?
What do you do there all day? All night sometimes.
I track people who are planning attacks. My job is pretending to think like them to stop those people from doing really bad things.
FBI, on your knees!
That's why we call her the Savant.
I love the memes.
Snipers, bombings, ambushes. We're on the verge of serious violence. I've been watching him for a year and a half. He's recruiting for something. I don't know what it is, but it's massive.
This guy isn't just planning violence. He's out to make a statement.
What kind of a statement?
The kind that history refers to with a month and a date. Innocent Americans are going to die.
We need to infiltrate further.
I don't think you should keep pushing this.
Listen to me. They have photos of your family.
You think if you engage with terrible things, you're daring even worse things to happen.
Low bois. Low bois again. More low bois. It's really
What's low
ominous. The
okay.
bwah, yeah, it makes you feel like you're really invested in the story. So, Jody, the protagonist, is actually going undercover in online forums with angry right-wing men
On Discord.
on Discord,
Whoa.
4chan, and 4chain even. And she's gonna track down the frog accounts that are planning attacks on our democracy. This definitely, from my first impression, seems like a holdover from the late 2010s,
Yeah.
maybe the early 2020s, that they just had on the call sheet and had to put it out there because we're Apple TV Plus, who is even subscribed to our streaming platform anyway. Like, what are we supposed to do? So they put this out, and then immediately the memes began spreading with Jessica Chastain staring at the computer screen in the dark intently with her giant blue light glasses. They keep asking if I had breakfast yesterday. Show Bob's, send vegana? What does it all mean? And also, why is everyone talking about returning their shopping
Real.
carts at the grocery store? And I felt attacked by that one, actually. One of the tweets said, I can't believe they made a movie about a Redditor who spends their entire time mass reporting shit posters while her kids beg to be taken care of. It's actually very true to life. It's literally that meme of like the Sims character on the computer while her baby is like on fire in the corner and she's like, not now, sweaty, I'm cyberbullying. But it's like, not now, sweaty, I'm tracking down online terror extremists. And I found out this is actually based on a true story, as so many Hollywood stories are. And I bet that they probably received funding or perks of some kind from the departments in the CIA and the FBI that basically do exchanges with Hollywood studios where if you write your show in accordance with what we want for the narrative, we'll give you access to military equipment or, you know, whatever consultant that you need for your script. That's just my theory. There's nothing to confirm that. But it's actually based on a true story, which was featured back in 2019 in an article for Cosmopolitan. And this journalist went undercover with the real Savant in real life on one of her missions. It says, is it possible to stop a mass shooting before it happens? You've never heard of her, but somewhere in America, a top secret investigator known as the Savant is infiltrating online hate groups to take down the most violent men in the country. Cosmo goes undercover as she races to get ahead of the next large-scale attack. And they go to her house, and she's just a seemingly normal woman who wears jeans and hoop earrings and has a dog and a family and a driveway. But she moonlights as a doom scroller on the darkest corners of social media. They actually mention one of the attacks that she foiled, and it's interesting. They failed to include this in the show. This was back in 2007 that she started her work. She went on MySpace and found an Islamic extremist named Michael Finton. This was obviously like way before mass adoption of smartphones and social media, that she was screenshotting all of this guy's posts as he went further and further in his rhetoric. And then eventually the feds got to him and entrapped him and basically told him, show up at this time and location, get in this van. It has over a ton of explosives outside of a government building in Illinois, and make this phone call and we'll detonate. And then, of course, they did the sting operation, and now he's in prison for the next, 30 years. But it's just interesting that, they didn't really address the fact that he was an Islamic terrorist, at least so it seems, in the show, and they said it in present day so that they could include the plot points about the alt-right, which was the focus of the Cosmo article. The Cosmo article glosses over the 2007 incident and then turns its attention to men on the alt-right, and they say she's totally undercover, but she even got like a personal thank you letter from former FBI director Robert Mueller. So the people who know who she is. She frequents forums and chat boards, engaging with evil right-wingers and determining if they're a serious threat. So I guess watch out in your Telegram group chats, because this
Savant might be.
She's also worked closely with the SPLC and the ADL and plenty of think tanks and NGOs, as well as the government.
Absolutely the bad guys.
And she says in the Cosmo piece, I think most people who know me in real life think I work for a think tank. So again, these people are crawling everywhere. I'm certain that the Savant, whoever she may be, is not the only one. There are informants everywhere, and she doesn't seem that remarkable to me, actually. And especially now that governments, especially in the EU, are implementing these plans for online safety in the name of protecting children, but in reality for the purposes of surveillance, they are existing out in the open. And that includes the censorship commissar for e-safety, Michelle Rowlands, in Australia. She was at a public hearing and complained that taxpayer money was being wasted on thousands of freedom of information requests for the information that they're compiling on private citizens in Australia for their social media activity. Right. And she's calling them trolls and saying, you know, we're doing the good work that needs to be done and we're warriors for democracy. This is essentially the person that they're portraying in this show, but it just comes off as incredibly tone deaf and not just out of touch, but out of time, as they say.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's definitely a holdover from the late 2010s when this was in vogue. You can tell that there's a lot of journos involved because this is how a lot of journalists view themselves when they dox just like a random right-wing anon. They're like, I just in their head they prevent a terrorist attack, and also like the timing makes it even funnier because like the last two major incidents in the United States was obviously a transgender person shooting up whatever, and then you also have in Charlotte a crazy black guy getting his stab on. So it's like, how is this still the threat on the tip of everyone's tongues? It's just so tone deaf from so many different directions.
Maybe the average subscriber to Apple TV Plus is the target audience for this.
I think Apple TV subscribers are just, again, it's just normal Americans, and it's like,
well, it's more of like the highbrow stuff that they're doing over on Apple TV Plus.
Oh yeah,
like,
I see what you're saying. Yeah, like, it's probably they probably have a higher concentration of like
Severance, for instance, is like kind of like highbrow television.
Apple TV probably has more
for people with laptop jobs,
urbanites that think that they're a bit more cultured, and so they're like, they're like they think it's super off the wall to have like the scoop, the lowdown on the far right extremism that the average American's not clued in on, when in reality, this is just how every journalist views themselves. That's
I love how they don't even show what's on the screen, and if it were accurate to reality, this would be like someone who works at Right Wing Watch.
Yeah.
Going into like a Telegram group chat that shares like, I mean, maybe not frog memes because that's like outdated now, but memes basically, and they're like,
she was on Discord
trying to put in like super obvious glowy responses to bait people into making violent statements.
And like that's I was like, what do these people think's happening on Discord?
I'm not on Discord, so I actually don't know.
I stay away as well, but there's not plotting and planning going on in Discord. It's a lot of not the Timcast Discord. That's filled.
I would imagine a lot more complaining than conspiracy.
Your average right-wing Discord is just people all convincing each other that they don't have mental illnesses.
That they do or don't?
That they don't.
Oh.
Them saying, no, this is normal. If you transition, like it's actually based. Like that's usually what kind of antics are going on in there. People telling themselves to ignore that voice in their head saying, stop, stop, stop. That's mostly what's going on in America's right-wing discords nowadays. Unfortunately for the writers of the show, there's not much master planning happening.
You're right that just mainstream journalists really do see themselves in a protagonist like this. I mean, it's well known that mainstream publications are in bed with the CIA, and that's been going on for decades now. But even when they're not, they think that they're freedom fighters. Even like, I remember, I guess this was a couple of years ago, after the Tiffany Gomez plane meltdown.
Yeah.
This woman didn't attack anyone, wasn't charged with anything. All that happened was that she had a little bit of a melty on a plane.
Should have crashed out.
They kicked her out of the plane, and then she didn't want to tell people that she was like taking Valium and drinking, she just was embarrassed. And they found this woman's house and took pictures of her house and published it in the Daily Mail.
Oh yeah.
For what? They're insane.
And they're totally in collaboration with federal authorities, because it's like back in the day when people actually like cared about these sorts of things, is like when a right-wing anon would get doxxed or whatever, and the journalists would put out their write-up on like how they figured it out, and they'd be like, I connected this, and then I found like a letter that went here into an email address and everything. It's like, no, someone in a federal agency slipped you some information, and then now you got to like come up with some story to make yourself sound like a genius. And that would happen all the time, nonstop. And yeah, they would pretend like they were a savant, when in actuality they were just getting tips from the intelligence community. That's all that was going on. And so
reminds me of the Jeffrey Goldberg incident of him like getting accidentally added to the Telegram chat because these people are just in each other's contact lists. Like that's normal for them. But yeah, super tone deaf, super outdated, but funny nonetheless. I think there are plenty of, you know, middle-aged lib moms out there in the country who see themselves in Jody, and they're mostly married women, actually. Contrary to popular belief, they're not cat ladies, but they're everywhere, and they have Ukraine flags in their front yards.
Yeah, and in the DMV area, their husbands work for contractors.
And they have bumper stickers that say "Adopt, don't shop."
Yeah.
Let's
you will
read some
find,
super chats.
You'll find these people populating the Hudson Valley of New York. That's they dominate that area.
All Southern Connecticut.
All right.
Yeah.
Pat the plumber says Y2K was a massive disappointment to a 17-year-old future plumber who wanted to see the world burn. Now I thank God for all those coders.
Yeah.
I'm confused. Why
He was an edgy teen, and nowadays he's like, man, it's good that didn't happen because I realized how terrible it would have been.
Yeah.
Or would it have been? Or
it would have been terrible. Listen, it is.
Would it have led to like
horrible.
actual plane crashes and the like?
I don't know for sure if it would have led to actual plane crashes. That was one of the things that were possible. But
we got enough of that happening
already. You didn't
already.
want 50 more years of third rail Bill Clinton politics. That's what you would have gotten.
It would have been
saxophone
horrible.
solos.
The death toll, the actual death toll would have been astronomical.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, yeah, that seems to be the real value of the internet, is that it like led to us actually being able to break out of the third rail politics. Like you got Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Y2K2, third way politics, rather, not third
Y2K 38 or whatever doesn't even address the fact that a lot of people are buying into dead internet theory already, and think, what would we be missing if so few people are actually active users on social media platforms? Maybe it's less of an effect than we realize. Shane H. Wilder said, this Y2K2 electric boogaloo issue has been known for years, and they have been working to fix it for a while. It'll be patched in plenty of time. Yeah, because nothing ever happens. That's probably why.
Count on you.
It is, yeah.
Corey Anderson said, I don't like myself. Maybe you should fix that. Become someone you like.
It's true.
Shane H. Wilder said, Tate, at least you aren't Pentecostal, speaking gibberish while saying you're speaking in tongues. No offense to those people, but come on.
Yeah,
I mean, kind of offense to those people.
I'm scared of snakes, so I don't think I'd do well as a Pentecostal.
They have actual snakes.
Yeah, they are the snake handlers.
Yeah.
They believe that the snake will not bite them, and if the snake bites them, the Lord will prevent them from dying of the poison.
Which may be true, but I'll never know because I'm afraid of snakes.
No, because there's a verse in the Bible that says that the snake will strike at you and you will feel no pain or whatever, and it will not harm you or something like that. And so they're saying, look, it says that we can hang out and carry around cottonmouths and vipers.
Sure, that's what that meant.
Hey, if you take the Bible literally, it makes sense that's what then it makes sense that people would understand it that way if you believe the Bible is literal.
Pentecostals are famous for, like, you see people fainting in crowds and the pastor like wakes them up, or like people dancing,
it was
stomping.
like
that's like Pentecostals.
That medieval phenomenon, like dancing to death, like
Hey, there we
entire
go.
villages would start dancing like we're about to do right now.
This is 2, right?
Yes, this is number 2.
We're like Pentecostals right now.
I'm
Carry on
feeling the
garter
power
snakes.
of the Holy Spirit.
Actually, any snake I'm fine with as long as it's not venomous.
Fair enough.
Snakes don't scare me.
Ball pythons are cute. I stand by
I'm
that.
petrified of all of them.
Pat
Are
the
you
plumber.
really?
Of snakes? Yeah.
Why would you be afraid of snakes that are not venomous?
I don't trust animals that don't have legs.
They used to.
Back in the day.
I would be much more comfortable holding any snake that is not venomous over just about any kind of millipede, which has many legs.
Ew.
I've always been a bug toucher. I've always been big. Like if there's a bug in the schoolyard, I go and grab it. No, I just like to touch them. It's like, like I was the worm disposal guy.
I would spray the soil with the hose and then wait for the worms to come up to the surface, and then I would take the worms and then I would go like this.
And kill them?
I would just squeeze their guts out from one end to the other.
That's morbid.
Yeah, I got a low empathy quotient.
I mean, to be fair, yeah. I mean,
when I took the test.
Yeah, I mean,
told me that I have autism. I don't think I have autism.
Because you should be putting the worm towards a service. Like, I would get the worms to fish with, but they were like,
That's what they were designed for.
Yeah, but like torturing them.
Well, they died quick. Whatever.
Okay.
I'm normal. Pat the plumber said a guy from Nepal crashed out in my Clash of Clans chat because he had no other way to talk about the atrocities.
Oh man.
That's awesome that he just went straight to Clash of Clans because he has no social media. He's just crashing out in the clan. That's awesome. I mean, yeah, it sucks what's happening to his country. Can you imagine Yik Yak in Kathmandu right now? It's probably popping off. Like, this prime minister sucks.
Dingus Khan of Gongolia said more khakis than a Boston car dealership. Were they wearing like khaki shorts in that video? I don't think so.
I think
that used to be a thing.
Now, yeah.
It's like that. What was that photo where the guy is just like stanced up?
Yeah,
like wearing the khaki shorts in the
Lucky
Sperry's.
Luciano. Yeah, that guy's a goat.
Blightbulb said, just joined the stream. Are we talking about boys flaunting daddy's money? These dudes were just as insufferable as the loser liberal arts majors. We got sour grapes.
That is not true.
They're not as bad. I don't think they're
These are like normal.
They're not nearly as bad.
Normal guy, and then like whatever annoying qualities they do have is like flushed out after college for the most part.
We were talking about like the death and possible rise again of bro culture, and they're definitely the ones keeping it alive.
Yeah.
They used the Me Too movement in part to kill bro culture. Yeah. Brock Turner being the avatar of the bro to be sacrificed. Like Brock Turner was to frat bro culture as Harvey Weinstein was to Hollywood. In the same way that they were like sacrificed on the pyre to kill their respective spaces that they dominated. Shane H. Wilder said, oh, cookout is a restaurant. I thought you meant a real cookout. I like who doesn't like hanging out in a backyard eating pit smoked meat and socializing.
No, yeah, the restaurant's like almost
I prefer a real cookout.
I think cookout, the restaurant's the inverse of that, which is just
you're inside.
You're inside.
I thought it was outdoors. They don't have seating inside a cookout, right?
Oh yeah. Well, the ones I go to, yeah, and it's like dark. Everything looks like Phil in there. Like it's always the lights are off for some reason. It's like they don't properly open the restaurants up. But the cookouts around here are like new. They're like really nice inside. Yeah.
Brian Bledsoe said, Tate, do you have any stories about the infamous Lamar Avenue in Memphis?
I'm trying to think. I don't have any. Lamar Avenue.
What is that?
It's like it's this artery road that goes through southeast Memphis up into the center of Memphis, which is like a really violent place. And Lamar Avenue is famous for Lamar Avenue lot lizards. There's a lot of lot lizards there because a lot of the truckers pop off 240 to get on Lamar Avenue, and it's just like it's the ghetto. There's a barbecue place that's in a gas station on Lamar Avenue that I remember was really good because I played like travel basketball, so like we would have to go into the inner city a lot to play our games, and I remember like frequenting a lot of these establishments, and Lamar Avenue has a lot of those that are failing food safety tests left and right. But I'm trying to think. I don't know if I have a good Lamar Avenue story. I have a lot of good Memphis stories, but I don't know if I have one related to Lamar Avenue.
Shane H. Wilder said the South still has it. Texas kids still do the garters for boys and mums that weigh more than the girls wearing them for the girls during homecoming.
Yeah, I remember I bought the mum for homecoming.
Wait, what? What is that?
Yeah. So like in Texas in high school, like the little flower that people like you buy for prom. Yeah. Well, like in Texas, this giant mum that you buy for girls for homecoming. Like a huge like floral arrangement thing. It's like
it's called a mum.
Yeah, it's like a giant.
Why?
It's like a giant. Yeah, it's crazy. And yeah, I remember like because I didn't grow up there, but I moved there my sophomore year of high school, and my mom was like, "No, this is just something people do here. You just got to get used to it." And I remember going to HEB, and they had like a mom section, and it was like, I mean, like giant. It was crazy. Yeah, Texas they do it different.
They do everything big.
They do everything big.
All right. Let's move into the last topic. I'm glad that we have time for this. So the good old-fashioned trad wife grifting content is back with a vengeance, but they've rebranded. They've taken on a new disguise, and it's called princess treatment. This is taking TikTok by storm. There are women advising other women on how to demand princess treatment from their boyfriends, fiancés, or husbands. And it's all a very intricate system of gender roles and power dynamics and communication styles. I can't decode all of it, but this one TikToker named Courtney Palmer was the one who started it all. But first off, I want to show the content that arose as a result of the princess treatment trend. These women on TikTok would sit down their husbands or boyfriends in a chair with a hose pointed at them, and they would have a list of different gestures that you could do for your wife or girlfriend, and they say it's either bare minimum or princess treatment, and you have to answer correctly or else you get hosed down with this hose. So
seems great. Let's
show the example of that we have pulled up.
Mom or princess treatment? Opening car doors, bare minimum.
Yep, that's right.
Perfect. Remembering her birthday, that's astronomically minimum.
Yep.
If you don't know that, you're cooked. Wiping for her?
What?
What is this? That's
this takes a turn.
Because in no world are you doing that for me. Wait, what if we're old though? That's bad.
When you need help pregnancy.
Yeah, that too. You know what? Matter of fact, of course that's bare minimum.
Paying for her hair and nails. That is absolutely princess treatment. I'll stand on that. You do your own nails, and every time you do your hair, you get mad about it.
Exactly, so I have to go to the salon.
So why am I paying for that shit? Bro, bringing her food even when she says she's not hungry, bare minimum. Yep. Sending good morning text, that is princess treatment. We live together. We live together. We literally live together.
I'm actually upset that you've stopped doing that.
Giving her flowers just because. I've done this so many times.
Yeah.
But it's still princess treatment, by the way. Just
it
so
is.
You know. Bring you back to earth for a sec.
All right. You ruined it there.
Buying her a Birkin.
You ruined it there.
Queen treatment.
I agree with that.
Posting her on my story, bare minimum.
Of course.
I just did it today for free. I might be more romantic than you.
All right.
Massaging her whenever she wants, princess treatment. Taking her on a trip, massaging. Picking up the check at dinner, bare minimum. Watching your favorite show, even when I don't want to, bare minimum. Kissing you goodbye, princess treatment.
So this trend went everywhere. There are countless examples of it.
This is insane. To get a girlfriend in 2025, you have to get waterboarded. That's
now
That
literally
is now you wonder why
the entire comment section is going to be tearing you apart.
The women are waterboarding their boyfriends now. This is getting out of control.
So this prompted a New York Times piece titled "Can the Princess Treatment Go Too Far?" A popular trend has prompted discussions about how to treat your significant other, what qualifies as the bare minimum, and how this all relates to traditional gender roles. They list a husband opening the car door for his wife, a boyfriend surprising his girlfriend with flowers, remembering her birthday. Okay, all normal stuff so far. This is where we get into a little bit of the weird territory. Tying her shoes for her, or paying for her nail appointments. Are these normal expectations or examples of princess treatments? So this woman, Courtney Palmer, who you're about to watch, is giving women a tutorial on how to expect princess treatment when you're going out to a restaurant with your boyfriend or husband. And the number one rule is basically not speaking to anyone, being an antisocial freak, refusing to act like an adult with a brain that functions properly. And she actually does seem like she's incredibly dysfunctional and needs a caretaker. So let's take a look at her
this lady right here?
video. The one that looks like this, like her shoulders are all the way up to her ears. With the bob.
This lady?
I can't see her on screen.
Oh.
Another question that I'm getting about.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right.
Oh no. That's the woman making fun of her.
There's a lot of
that's the one. That's
creepy
the
ladies
one.
with bob.
That's the one.
Okay. Here we go.
About princess
Brace
treatment
yourself.
if you're at a restaurant and how you interact with the waitstaff and the hostess. If I am at a restaurant with my husband, I do not talk to the hostess. I do not open any doors, and I do not order my own food. So someone had sent me a message a couple weeks ago asking about, like, let's say your husband drops you off and he goes to park the car, what do you do? Or if it's raining or something like that and he wants you to put your name down. And I had a very similar situation happen to me with my husband a couple weeks ago. I'll put her question on the screen so you can see exactly what she's saying. But we pulled up, me and my husband pulled up to a restaurant and he wanted to run in and see. We didn't have a reservation. He wanted to run in. Well, we didn't have a reservation, so we wanted to go up and see if it was possible for us to get in. He pulled the car up at the valet station. I stayed in the car. He got out of the car, told the valet, I'm just gonna run in and ask a question. I'm gonna leave my car here. I sat in the car while he ran in and asked them. They said, yeah, we have space for you. And my husband said, okay, I'm gonna go get my wife and then I'm gonna park the car. So he comes back out, opens my car door, walks me into the restaurant, opens the door, and I stand and wait. I did not make eye contact with the hostess.
No
I
eye
did not
contact.
talk to her. I waited until my husband came back.
This is like, are you just autistic?
Does the exchange with her, and then we went and sat down. Let's say it's raining. You already have a reservation, okay? Your husband's gonna pull you up to the restaurant. He's gonna get out, open your door. He's gonna walk you to the restaurant door, open the door, and walk you in. He's probably then gonna leave to go park the car. Or he's gonna go exchange whatever he needs to do with the valet.
Who needs to
You're just gonna
dissect
stand in the
things
lobby
like this?
or whatever the space is, and you're gonna wait for your husband to come back. You're not gonna go up to the hostess and give the reservation name. You're not gonna talk to her. This isn't out of like a, I'm better than them and I don't need to talk to them and I don't need to, you know, I'm not like a, it's not in any sense like you're better than the hostess. You're just letting your husband lead and be masculine. He made the reservation. He's taking you out. Let him do the logistics. You're just being a princess. It's not because you're being hoity-toity. You're just letting your husband lead and letting him take care of it.
This lady is mentally ill.
I don't even know another situation where you would need to be dropped off. Usually there's a valet, so you can both get out together. But again, like, you don't have to feel awkward about it. Another huge part of the princess treatment is, I don't know if we specifically talked about this, but the over need to like talk and fill space. Like, you don't need to talk.
She just turned her camera on and just let it
so
fly. She has no plan. I have no idea where this video is going. She doesn't either.
Be able to give the reservation. You can say, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm not sure. My husband will be back, and then you can ask him. You can say it in a very soft and feminine way.
It's like a 5
Say it in a very soft, feminine way.
3 more minutes of this.
Such the wrong way, but
Yeah, just stop her.
that's how I would handle it.
Enough.
For someone who talks so much about not talking, you are really serving us up a yappuccino, lady.
Yeah.
A yappuccino.
What? You love talking.
I've never heard that term.
You love making rules. You love like bossing other people around. Like, you are a girl boss in disguise. And on her TikTok page, she goes by the nickname Housewife Princess. This is her entire brand. She just tells other women who are just as neurotic, dysfunctional, and mentally ill as her about all of the ins and outs of how to be a princess. You're not a princess, lady. You need help.
Yeah.
You're like actually mental. Like, no one should dissect social interactions to this level of specificity unless you are on the spectrum and actually maybe in need of a caretaker.
She is one bad prescription away from being a homeless schizophrenic.
She's like walking into these restaurants, and she has one of those backpacks that you give a toddler. It has the invisible leash on it.
Yeah.
And she has like the baby helmet that that people put on their babies these days to like form her skull.
I mean, this is a total train wreck. And if in her eyes, there's just...
She's obviously insane. Just taking a look at this woman, you know that she's insane.
But there's also despair in her eyes.
She looks miserable. No one wants to be her, but she's instructing other people on how to be her and live her life.
And she's like, she's explaining how to like coach your husband.
Yeah, she's explaining, here's how to covertly police all of your husband's behavior and still act like you're the one who's like powerless
we know,
and submissive.
At the end of the day, like, we know women are crazy. There's no question about that. Phil can tell you. Like, we all know. So this kind of behavior is to be expected. It's that she doesn't have the decency that her husband's gonna see this.
Oh, of course.
And like it's absolute humiliation.
And by the way, this woman tells more details, but she says that she actually stopped working like 6 months ago.
Oh my God.
And then since then has created this whole online persona about how she's just a housewife layabout who does nothing all day and primps herself. And like she's a princess because she doesn't work now. We have a 20 from...
flips the camera on and just goes.
Yeah, Alejandro Reyes says, just started the stream. I like ominous Phil sitting in the dark. We like it too.
We like it too.
Yeah, she is clearly more... Like, obviously, the average woman is going to be far more neurotic than the average man. That's just built into the differences between us. But she appears to be exceptionally neurotic, and she's obsessed with defining the rules of social interactions. She seems incapable of speaking to or making eye contact with strangers in public.
She's trying to gain control over not having control.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
Yeah,
here.
and that's what's really like sinister about it, because in this New York Times piece, they ask her why is it that she feels like passionate about making content like this. She says in regard to her audience, her female audience, they felt so much pressure with the girl boss era to be a working woman, and they had to be so masculine to get through the world. So princess treatment is, in her mind, the antidote to the extremes, the indiscretions of the girl boss era culture that we leaned so heavily into for the past like 15 years, probably more than that. And this is the other extreme end that some people have veered off into, where basically they don't think that they're functioning adults in society. And I just posted something about this on Instagram today about the "I'm just a girl" meme, where adult women are saying like, don't expect anything of me, I'm just a girl, I can't be asked questions about my finances, I'm just a girl, don't expect me to understand what a 401k is, I'm just a girl.
Maddening.
The whole meme is just like, I am an infant because I'm female. But it's just funny because those are the same women who would be so offended if a man infantilized them.
Right.
But they're the ones posting these memes, and they probably actually in reality do have high-powered, high-paying jobs in the corporate world, and they're using these memes that infantilize them as a coping mechanism for that, like how disempowered they feel.
Yeah.
But this is just another, I think it is a branch off of the trad wife content, which was always a cope and always a LARP.
But I suspect that she did not start conducting herself like this until her 30s, potentially well into her 30s, because it's a seller's market right now. Like, you can be in your 30s and still like find a pretty good, if you're a woman, you can still find a pretty good partner. I suspect, especially in urban areas. And but I don't imagine she conducted herself this way in her 20s.
I doubt this is how her husband fell for her in the first place.
Right.
Like, you know, like over a decade ago.
I think a lot of men, and to be fair, a lot of women are getting the rugs pulled out under them like 2-3 years into a marriage. Because
your spouse just falls down an online rabbit hole that you have no way of predicting that that's going to happen. They lose their minds.
They started intellectualizing bad behaviors that they had been suppressing for long enough.
Oh yeah, this woman comes off like super domineering. Like it comes naturally to her to boss people around, which is why she has this account. But she's like giving women advice. She's like, so that feeling that you have where you just want to slap your husband in the face and you just want to tear his fingernails off, just push it down and just suppress suppress it and just be a soft princess.
Yeah, there's a whole
Don't
sector
say anything
of online female content creators. There's a whole sector of them that is just them making content on like convincing you not to kill your husband.
I know.
That's literally what's going on.
Literally, that's what this is. And like, if you aren't mentally ill, you don't need someone to explain this to you. Like, there's a difference between letting a man like take the lead, I guess, and then not making eye contact with other people in public. And that's why people were like mocking her in these other
I mean, this was a
TikToks.
woman for 5 minutes rationalizing not murdering her husband. Sleep. That's what's going on here.
Just prove to me that you're not useless. So, okay, I want to show these parodies of Courtney's TikTok.
Princess treatment. If you go out to dinner and your husband orders you something because he is going to order for you, orders you something that you're allergic to, what do? Telling him that you're allergic to it or that you would prefer something else would be very emasculating, so you're not going to say anything. If you go into anaphylaxis and you have your EpiPen on you, I would not use it.
That's not demure.
I would simply
Anaphylaxis is not
die.
demure.
Using an EpiPen at a restaurant is not going to look very feminine. It's going to cause a lot of attention. People are going to be looking at you. You're going to take the focus away from your husband. Really, at the end of the day, the most feminine thing that you can be is dead.
And the next one is obviously pointing out the fact that this is a veiled sexual
no,
fetish.
I'm not supposed to look at anything My husband looks at everything
Let's
for
talk
me.
about Princess
That's why I have a
treatment
satin
if you're
blind.
out of
He walks me into the restaurant.
with the waitstaff and the hostess.
Silence.
I don't look at anyone. I keep the tape on my mouth until we sit down because then I'm going to have to eat. But this is princess treatment. I'm not supposed to have to do anything. My husband orders for me. And by ordering for me, I mean he orders 2 foods for himself because one of them he's going to have to pre-chew so that he can then put it in my IV drip so that way I can digest it.
It's like, I think part of what's going on here is, and this is, men are doing this too, so this isn't like an anti-woman thing, but this seems to be more pernicious with our female cohorts, is they like feel like they're just getting thrown around by life, like there's zero control over life, they're getting thrown around, so that some women double down and just become girl bosses, but yeah, we're seeing women outsourcing that feeling of getting thrown around by life to their husbands.
Right.
And I don't think men in 2025 are positioned well to lead a woman just because of like the way society is structured.
What do you do with someone like
cooked.
this?
You're just cooked.
What do you do when your wife is like this? There's no way you can possibly be good enough. There's no way you can possibly be masculine and enough of a leader for a woman who thinks like this.
Do you ever see those videos? You ever see those videos of the guys and they pay a dude in a camo shirt with an American flag on his side and they take him out to a beach and they're doing like sit-ups in the beach and it's like fake Marine training.
Okay.
And they do this. They sell these guys that work in offices. They sell them on this because it's like help. It's because that's at home. That's what's at home. So it's like they need to feel like masculine again. They need to feel powerful because when they go home, it's just confusing because nothing in her lifestyle is feminine. Except for like what she wants the dynamic between her and her husband to be, and that would just like completely psychologically break you as a man if that's what you were married to for, you know, for decades. It's like, and so yeah, seeing the men
broken.
Yeah, so seeing the men crash out is like is equally, it's sad.
It's pathetic.
There's just life coaches are making a lot of money right now. That's all I'll say.
Life coaches are making a lot of money.
They're raking it in.
And Courtney is one of them.
Yeah.
All right, let's finish up these super chats. Pop Culture Junkie said Sydney is following Charlize Theron's career track with occasional indie portrayals of unattractive heroines alternating with just okay crowd pleasers. I haven't followed Charlize Theron's career that closely. I liked her in Snow White and the Huntsman. That was a cool female villain. Shane H. Wilder said the caramel apple empanada is back along with the Cool Ranch Doritos Locos Taco.
Let's go. All right, I might go there for dinner actually. I'm off tonight.
You might hit up Taco Bell. Brian Bledsoe said Sweeney's current movies were made before being outed as a Republican. Wonder what she will be in after the fact. Honestly, that was overblown. Like, the outrage over Sydney Sweeney being a Republican lasted for maybe 2 days, and then everyone forgot about it, which speaks to the place
well, that's
we're
because
at.
nobody's really particularly outraged.
Yeah.
Right? The people that heard it, they wanted to make us think about it because it made them look good, it made them look politically correct, and it made them look like they were, you know, they had the correct political opinions. But really, it doesn't affect their life. So they don't really care. They're just like, oh. And then when Sydney Sweeney's name comes up, they'll be able to drag her a little bit and make them feel like they're better than her. You know, so it gives them the sense of superiority. But that's it.
And what even was it? It was like it was someone named Sydney Sweeney in California was registered as a Republican.
I don't think there's another Sydney Sweeney, but it was in the state of Florida.
Florida, okay.
She does live in Florida as of last year.
That's probably a somewhat there's probably like a couple, dude.
There's no other Sydney Sweeney in Florida that's a registered Republican.
There's 350 million Americans.
I'm pretty sure it was confirmed.
I have a group chat on Instagram full of Tate Browns.
And I believe she is a Republican. I just don't think that
join that.
I made it like in 2017.
Yeah.
I was like 16 and I added them all in. I was like, we need to hash this
I
out,
couldn't
fellas.
do that. There were way too many Mary Morgans out there.
Well, most of the Tate Browns were women in Australia.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I only know of one other Phil Labonte.
Really?
Who is it?
One dude in Massachusetts.
Oh.
Ironically enough. I've never met another guy named Philip Labonte.
Are you related to the Labontes?
Don't
like
ask.
The NASCAR drivers?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Just wondering.
Stop asking.
Those are the only Labontes anyone
Never
ever
ask him that question.
So you must have been going through it in like 1998. Prime Bobby and Terry Labonte.
I mean, people would ask. I mean, I didn't meet a lot of people in 1998. You know,
but if you with the last name Labonte went to Alabama in 1998, that would be like if your last name was DiMaggio in New York in 1950.
I imagine my cousins in the South used to, if they were talking about their northern Yankee cousins and they said Labonte, they probably got it more than I did.
Right. Yeah. Fair enough.
Sketch Therapy said the Savant is how most groypers are LARPing Karens. Oh, that they're like imposters. Like he's saying like most groyper accounts on Twitter are actually the Savant in real life.
Oh, I mean,
I wouldn't say most. I'm sure some of them are.
Yeah, I mean, I do know they're pretty loaded up with.
But they're not very good at
feds,
like I feel like the feds are not very good at assimilating
You could've
to
stopped
those
them very
online
good.
cultures. They're not very good, but they're not very adept at learning the language. You can usually tell when someone's not from your
slang.
Yeah.
like your corner of the internet.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
Sketch
You know,
Therapy.
honestly, I'm pretty good at being a chameleon like that. Most people don't assume that I'm. I mean, just the fact that most people don't know my age.
They don't realize
or
you're
they,
a socialist.
when people hear how old I am, they're like, "What?" You know, the
Oh,
only
it's
person
stunning,
that uses slang in or uses cutting edge slang that I'm not familiar with is it's always Serge. Serge is always saying phrases that I have no
He's
idea
up on
what they
all
mean.
the latest brain rot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Phil just slowly starts slipping into an Australian accent the entire time. This has been a ruse.
Never happened.
Sketch Therapy said, when is Ghost Girl on IRL? When is Blade Boy back? Blade Boy, if you're referring to Brett, is coming back on Monday next week.
Why is he Blade Boy? Oh,
rollerblades.
rollerblades. Okay.
And I am back on IRL on Thursday night, as per usual. The DJ Foy said the low bois sound like me sighing watching it. Yeah.
Real.
It's characteristic. Corey Anderson said focusing on Christian men has let trans slip through the cracks.
Yeah, I mean, I think these hate watch organizations and also our intel community, yeah, they've focused all fire on men, on white Christian men. And so there's probably not as much resources allocated to these communities that have a propensity for violence. So that's 100% true.
Well, we don't even know enough about this recent trans shooter to know whether, that did have something to do with being like a sting operation gone wrong or who knows what.
It seems to always be like he was on our radar.
Yeah, it's always like that.
Yeah.
Shane H. Wilder said, yes, because I too read Cosmo for hard-hitting investigative journalism about counterterrorism. Yeah, I mean, it was obviously like, look at this federal agent girl boss who's totally slaying the game. Like, that was the tone that they were taking there. Sketch Therapy said, communism criminalizes political opposition and supports criminality. Businesses leave, you can't travel for work and can't move. Poverty doesn't create crime, but crime creates poverty.
Yep.
And they'll vote for economic welfare. The DJ Foy said, worst thing about the Aussie Karen is she was put there by the last conservative government and she's an American. She's an American? I thought I heard an accent. We need to tariff you guys for this. Oh, this is Australian currency. I didn't realize she was American. Maybe
Sorry.
she was.
I'm trying to think of a bad Australian that we have here that we could do a prisoner swap for. But I think all the Aussies you guys have sent over are pretty cool.
The ones who get out.
Margot Robbie's cool. Keith Urban is pretty cool.
Margot Robbie is like, a lot of people don't even know she's Australian.
Yeah, we're keeping her too. Sorry. Sorry about it.
Yeah.
Sketch Therapy said, Phil can probably state my point better than me. The point about communism.
Criminalizing political opposition.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, that's a typical kind of thing that happens in authoritarian socialist states.
Yeah.
Sleeping Dogs said, you never started the stream on Grumble.
We know.
We don't know what Grumble is, but Rumble seems to be having some issues today. We did try.
We tried our very darndest.
There's only so much we can do.
Yeah.
Arsenal Man said, R.I.P. to Haru Urara Gentle Spring, a racehorse famous for never winning a single race, who passed away today. She was timid and small, but always tried her best. R.I.P. to the people's champ, a bright star.
Rest in peace. That's
R.I.P.
But he/she was always there. They were always in the race,
There's a lesson in that.
It's not always about winning. It's about being present, and it's about doing your best and having fun. I bet that horse had a lot of fun before they went to the glue factory.
I actually met the person who does the drug tests on horse urine at the racetrack in Charlestown.
Nice.
She works at I won't say where she works, but I met her, and it's a really interesting job.
Are the horses doing like recreational drugs? Like they're just having a good time?
I know they I don't think that people like drug their racehorses if they know that they're going to get tested. Like that would be dumb.
Right.
So it must be a pretty boring job after a while, and also pretty gross.
It's like we need test strips for these apples and sugar cubes. I keep getting popped on these.
I still haven't. No, that's not true. I did go to the horse races. I just didn't understand it. Is it like
they just go in a circle?
Well, I understand that part, but how do you bet on them? Because I was trying to figure out how do you bet on one of the horses.
Hold cash and wave it.
They tried to explain it, and I've
never been to a horse race.
I had no clue. They give you like a receipt for the bet that you placed, but then you have no idea which horse is which, or if you're even betting on the right track, because they're also doing bets for tracks like in other states at the same time. Oh. So I think I might have bet on a horse like somewhere
Toledo,
else and probably lost.
You probably bet on
it wasn't
Haru,
that exciting.
Probably bet on Hararu or Rara or whatever their name was. Yeah, rest in peace.
It's only exciting if you like actually know how it works, but
yeah, many such cases.
I'm not much of a gambler anyway. Shane H. Wilder said, "Look what happened last time we trusted a snake." Yeah.
Real. Get biblical on us.
Who trusts snakes?
Adam
Eve.
and Eve.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, and Adam. After
Eve mainly,
yeah.
and Adam later. Yeah.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Mary, just look up homecoming mums. They're wild."
Yeah, it's unreal, and it's all like around the same season, so like all the kids.
It's sort of like the white version of a quinceañera dress.
Yeah.
These are ugly.
Yeah, they're not like.
Oh, the monogrammed ones are even worse. I was just picturing a normal bouquet.
No, they're huge. Yeah.
So it's like you put a wreath.
Yeah,
on.
and you can't, and they wear them. Like, the one time I had a date that wore one, she wore it like the entire evening as well, and it was crazy.
Yeah, you know what?
It's weird.
Someone else's culture, I'm not gonna judge.
Yeah, I also think it's actually, correct me if I'm wrong, Shane, but I think it's actually kind of a recent thing too, like the last few decades. Like it's not this ancient Texan ritual from the BC days. Like I think it's like the 80s, 70s and 80s, I want to say. Like when they really started getting big.
Yeah. Cleggy said she'll have the salad. Yeah, that's another question. Like, does the princess housewife tell her husband what she wants off of the menu so that he can order it for her? Or does he also decide what she wants off the menu? Because I'm not even going to say what I was about to say, but there are just so many unanswered questions. And there are all these people like sending her essays in her DMs asking her, well, what do I do if like we run over a pothole and then like I don't know, like should I like what's like the princess thing to do if like my husband gets pulled over and like they ask for my ID, but like he says that he's gonna give the cop like my ID and then they like call a human trafficking hotline because I refuse to talk to anybody. Like what's the princess thing to do in that situation? Like maybe you should just shut the F up and like live your life.
Flip up.
Just be normal. Like why can't people just be normal?
No.
Have a normal ass relationship.
Is normal actually good though? Come on, look at what normal
I mean
is
normal
nowadays.
like not being encumbered by all of this brain rot that you come across on social media and just like having a relationship and communicating like an adult. Like I just don't think that it's that complicated.
It's like I'm not decisive or imposing at all, but I will waterboard my husband.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Adam said the Karen one bad day to becoming the Joker. Yeah, she's
literally
constantly
I know we were
on the edge.
We were heaping some praise on the Karen community yesterday, but that's removed.
Different.
That's different. Where the Karens themselves as people are compromised, they're disturbed to some degree, and that's part of why they're so good at what they do.
I think social media ruined the Karen because now the Karen starts recording.
Yeah.
The Karen didn't have the option to pull out a smartphone and record.
Yeah, so this lady is just a ticking time bomb. I just hope her husband isn't a deep sleeper.
Not that Jon Stewart said Phil looks like he's doing an anonymous interview.
Oh, you
Yeah.
mean first name, last name? Yeah. He's a good guy.
We should give him a voice changer too.
First name, last name from Townsville.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Now I'm picturing a horse snorting a line of coke." It's
always
probably
picturing
happened.
that, yeah.
Have you guys been to medieval times?
I
I have
love
not.
medieval
I do too. I
kinda
love
wanna
medieval
go.
times.
It's like LARPing, but good.
It is.
But I'm not LARPing. They're LARPing.
Right.
I'm-
It feels like
I'm
you're not
watching the LARP.
embarrassed because they're the ones doing the
It's like
LARP.
order the mead, and then it feels a bit LARPy.
And like when they serve you the stew with the bread and
Yeah.
you don't have any utensils, so you have to like drink the stew out of the bowl and you feel like, you know, a villager.
There was one in New Jersey that I would go to, and I remember there was like a shooting in the parking lot outside of the medieval
shit.
times. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know, that happens a lot, but if you're at medieval times, why wouldn't you joust? You know?
They do.
If you
Well,
have-
they do jousting.
No, I'm saying, yeah, but I'm saying.
Oh, but in the parking
the
lot.
two gentlemen that, you know, had a disagreement in the parking
Right,
lot, why didn't they just take it out, at least put a show on? If one of them's going to die, you know, it's like,
Right.
let's make this an event.
I went in Maryland and it made me feel like it's like the mall brand Renaissance Festival. It's not as high investment. You don't have to dress up.
Yeah.
And they have like a bar.
Yeah.
It's more fun than I remember it being as a kid.
Yeah, I don't think I ever went as a kid, but
And also like all of the people who work there have their like Venmo on
Yeah.
on their shirts or
Yeah.
on the back of their shirts.
Yeah.
You can tip them like for how much they lean into the bit and the accents and stuff.
There's one outside of DC. I think it's in Maryland.
I think that
could
might
be
have
a
been the
good
one I went to.
That could be a good outing.
Mm-hmm.
Would
Get a
Little
squad
company,
together,
a
get
little
squad
company
together.
outing
Oh,
at
a
medieval
Timcast outing?
times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be sick.
I would like to watch Tim watch medieval times. That would be fun.
I mentioned that because they face so many controversies for how they treat their horses, allegedly.
Oh, I bet it's
at different
nightmare.
locations.
Tim would be betting on who wins the joust.
He'd be
Yeah.
He's like, "Where's the betting window?"
Exactly.
He'd be like, how's this
Get
even
a
happen?
parlay.
I've heard some bad
Side
things
bets
about
on if the
the
waitress
horses
is going
getting
to bring
abused.
food in a certain amount of time.
Mhm. But I hope that the horses are
They're not
okay
doing
now.
good. Those horses are.
They don't really get out much. They're in the stable at a mall.
They're not passing drug tests. I'll put that.
No,
They're loaded up.
They're very well trained. They do a lot of tricks. Shane H. Wilder said, "I think it was the 80s when big hair was a thing. I believe it was originally just a corsage. Then it went crazy. I remember someone buying a $700 mum."
Yeah, I remember they were
Well,
like.
it wasn't the guy. Of course, it was his parents.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like
sort of like a dowry if you think about it.
$60, $80 probably is how much I spent.
Just
I
the
didn't have like
modern
a
version
honkin'
of a
huge
dowry.
One, but yeah, literally. Yeah, I think it was like $60 at HEB, and
I bet they go crazy with like promposals in the South too. Like the really extravagant promposals.
I think it's mostly, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but I think now the people that have taken the mantle of crazy promposals is black people mostly.
Actually, that's true.
Yeah.
Like every
They,
year
like-
around prom season, you see the craziest.
They like rent cars and photographers.
They're like wearing designer gowns and acting
Yeah.
like it's the Met Gala.
Yeah, and meanwhile they're in like Alpharetta.
And they're acting way too grown. Like these teenagers are
Yeah.
acting way too grown and
Where I think
getting a huge ego.
Yeah, because I think even teenagers in Middle America are starting to fear getting older. Even like they're viewing, like I remember when I was 18 and I thought 24 was ancient, and now I'm 24 and I
And
feel
you
like
still feel that way.
27, like I might just give up or something.
Well, that's a good note to end on. Guys, we are going to wrap up the show. Phil, let everyone know where they can find you.
You can not find me here because it's too dark, but you can follow me on
Not
X.
here.
You can follow me on X at Phil That Remains, and you can follow the band All That Remains on Apple Music, Amazon Music, Pandora, Spotify, YouTube, and Deezer. Don't forget, the left lane is for crime.
And Tate.
Oh, and you know what? Go take a Stop the Bleed class. Like, if you happen to be in the unfortunate position of sitting on a bus where someone gets stabbed a bunch of times, like, be able to help. Don't just stand
PSA.
there and watch someone die.
Unless
like,
it's in
bleed
their
out.
neck, then there's no saving that situation.
Kentucky Ballistics, a YouTuber, he was shooting his 50 cal. It blew up, ripped his artery open. He stuck his thumb in, and he went to the hospital, and he survived. Never give up. Never give up.
Real.
Nice PSA there. Tate.
Yeah, I don't have any good advice on that.
Well, if you have anything to shout out, if
Just
you'd like
follow-
people to follow you on social media.
Follow me on X and Instagram at Real Tate Brown. You know what? No, I'm gonna get something. I'm gonna get like something going, like how to stop
the bleed class.
I'm gonna go a step further. I'm gonna say stop the crime. I have some ideas. That
It would be better to stop the crime than stop.
Are you
the
saying that you
bleed,
want to
but-
come to the range with me?
I would love to. I don't know much about firearms.
Have you shot any?
I shot a Winchester when I was like 12.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's it.
If you want to come to the range, we can set up a date and we
do
can
it.
go.
Let's do it.
I just
Not
can't
this
get
weekend,
over how
maybe next
dark
week.
you are. It's so funny. Okay, you guys can go send me validation on Instagram. That is Mary Archived. Or you could go send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived. And to help me get TikTok famous, that is also Mary Archived. And follow the show on social media. We are Pop Culture Crisis Pod on Instagram and popculture_show on X. And if you would like to listen to the show rather than watch, go follow us on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Give us a rate and review, 5 stars only. Subscribe to the channel on both YouTube and Rumble if you have not done so already, even though we weren't live on Rumble today. Turn on notifications so that you can tune in the next time we go live. And we'll be back with a brand new episode tomorrow. See you then, guys.
And before we go, we have 2 super chats.
Oh, we do?
Quick. I can read them real quick. Shane H. Wilder says, for those not in Texas, HEB is the best grocery store. Back me up, Tate. Yes, it is like heaven on earth. It's a
Never heard
paradise.
of it.
It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And thanks, Phil. I've been thinking about that. It's true.
Do it.
You're welcome for the
Do it.
reminder. Okay, bye, guys.
Bye-bye.